Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, what is up? The King of Lightning. I'm sorry, bring it back. The King of Lightning is here today, bringing you guys and gals Bleach, Tate Kubo's finest work. Say it, don't spray it, baby. Chapter 676 and 677 review. One take, wonder mode. You get what you fucking get. So, two things before I go. I'm still here. Shit. Two things before I continue on with this review. Number one is, if you haven't seen the live reactions, there'll be two links in the box below. Number two is, when it comes to the translation comparison bit, I can only do it at the moment for chapter 676. Chapter 677, I'm going to do at some point. If I need to, I'll do it Monday/Tuesday. Now, what I mean is this. What I want to do for One Piece, Bleach, and Toriko, the series that I do live reactions for, is I want to have the live reactions come out on Thursday/Friday. Then I want to have the review come out on Saturday/Sunday, because I know a lot of folks want the reviews earlier. So I can do the reviews on Saturday/Sunday and then have a translation comparison video if needed, between Viz and Batoto and Manga Stream. And if I use Manga Panda, oh, for sure Manga Panda gonna definitely need a translation comparison bit. Whoa, Manga Panda, shitty. All right, well, either way. So if I need the third video, then I'll do that third video for the translation comparison specifically. So basically, potentially, every week for one chapter, there'll be 3 videos, which is, but this is so I can hopefully organize my time better for the sake of delivering that material in an orderly manner. So once again, Thursday/Friday, live reactions. Saturday/Sunday, reviews. And then if need be, Monday/Tuesday, translation comparison. So, that being said, when it comes to these chapters of Bleach, we're going to keep them all in one nice little package. Pacing, story progression, and the characterization. And that's really it. So, first of all, and also the translation comparison part for chapter 676. So let's start with that. There was one panel that confused me when I was reading it on Manga Stream for chapter 676. And that was this panel. And I quote right here. The Quincy powers I inherited from my mother, Old Man Zangetsu, and the Shinigami powers I inherited from my father, the Hollow within me. That honestly makes it seem like he inherited the Hollow powers from his father, which of course we know makes no sense. That's not true. So when it came to the Viz translation, they say this. The Quincy power I got from my mother manifested by the Old Man Zangetsu, and the Hollow power inside of me mixed with the Soul Reaper power I got from my dad. Makes so much more sense. So the Hollow was an individual section of his power which blend together with his Shinigami powers that were based on his father, that he got from his father. When it comes to the Quincy powers, they're his mom. So basically, it makes a lot more sense when reading the Viz translation as opposed to reading the Manga Stream translation, because that panel didn't really make much sense when I read it. Now we know, because I know some folks like me were also confused about that as well. And now we all know that the correct translation, or I should say the better translation, is the Hollow inside me mixed with the Soul Reaper power I got from my dad. That makes a lot more sense, a lot more understandable. So that's number one. Number two, I found very intriguing. Not really a big deal, but when it came to the last part of chapter 676, where if Ichigo yelling out Gran Rey Sero, or I can't even say that. It's Gran Rey Sero where Ichigo is when he combines it with the Getsuga Tenshou. Well, in Manga Stream, it's just that, Gran Rey Sero. But on Viz, it's Juha talking about Ichigo, and it's Juha noting that he's using a Gran Rey Sero. So that last panel is a Gran Rey Sero, and it's Juha talking about how Ichigo, he is creating a Gran Rey Sero. He is combining that Gran Rey Sero with his Getsuga Tenshou. So it's Yuha's point of view that we get the Gran Rey Sero from. So that was a little bit interesting, not really a big deal at all. And that is the translation part of the review. When it comes to the pacing, overall, both chapters are relatively fine pacing-wise. However, chapter 677 clearly has more dialogue. Therefore, the pacing is slower, but it has more depth when it comes to the pacing. And when I say depth, I also mean the actual substance of the dialogue. Where in chapter 677, it's Juha talking about things like what is hope to him, when it comes to the true nature of his powers, that kind of stuff. And when it comes to chapter 676, it's Ichigo talking about his powers mainly, and how there is an equilibrium, how there is a balance between the Shinigami power he has, and the Hollow power, and the Quincy power as well. And how he has to kind of like sway the balance in order to activate the Hollow power. So basically, when it comes to the pacing of both chapters are relatively the same, but it's more so chapter 677 does have more dialogue, and the dialogue itself, I think, is more substantive. So that's the pacing. Now, when it comes to the story progression, we have pretty big things going on here. Number one, it is Ichigo blowing out the top castle area in chapter 676. And then it is the historic moment. The moment that people across all shonen fandoms have been waiting for. Even if you haven't read Bleach, you have been waiting for this fucking moment. When Ichigo finally used a different move. Whoa. Now granted, he combined that move with the same move, which does make it a little less appealing, honestly. It really fucking does. However, Ichigo, Kurosaki-kun, does combine a Gran Rey Cero. I'm sorry, he makes a Cero. Then he combines his blood with the Cero to make a Gran Rey Cero. Then he combines that Gran Rey Cero with his Getsuga Tenshou to deliver a fierce blow upon Juha Bach. So, that was refreshing in many ways. The man did a Cero, and then he combined the Cero with his blood and made a Gran Rey Cero. So technically, if the Cero is independent from the Gran Rey Cero, then that's 2 additional moves. Ichigo basically making fucking gains. Thank God. I mean, this motherfucking Ichigo using the freaking Getsuga Tenshou more than Inuyasha using the Wind Scar. Frustrating. 676 chapters deep. One move. Oh my God. But Cero evolved into Gran Rey Cero mixed with the Getsuga Tenshou equals force. A lot of force. And that was good to see. I like that. Thank God. Woo! So that right there are the 2 major story progression points of chapter 676. I'll say this, just for the record. If Ichigo is going to have new moves, but these new moves are going to be combined with this Getsuga Tenshou constantly, that's going to piss me off. Yes, listen. I like the fact that he used a Cero and then a Gran Rey Cero. That's awesome. But I want to see him, like, let's say have another horn and then fire the Cero beam, a fucking beam, or use his fingers, beam. I would like to see him incorporate the Cero in earnest. The Gran Rey Cero in earnest, not combined with his Getsuga Tenshou. That's what I would like to see. That would be awesome. If every new move that he learns is going to be a reskin, a mod on the Getsuga Tenshou, like combo Getsuga of whatever, let's say Quincy Bow Attack, like Quincy Reiatsu, Sklava Rai, Getsuga Tenshou combination, oh God. Okay, that is bullshit territory. Like, it's better than what we normally get with Getsuga Tenshou, but it's still the same base of Getsuga Tenshou. So, yes, I would like to see him utilize the other moves in earnest, not just combine them with the Getsuga. I was gonna say Windscar just now. but no. Getsuga combo, whatever, ultra combo. No. Please. No. Let us avoid that, okay? Now, That being said, historic moment, moving on to chapter 677. When it comes to the story progression there, basically, Ichigo at the end of the chapter is going to use his fucking Bankai. Bankai. And what I will be doing before that chapter releases is that I'll be doing a discussion video on what I think his Bankai is going to be, or what I would like it to be. And beforehand, it is Juha discussing hope, and that's for characterization. But there is the way he talks about hope, like it's very fascinating. But more so, it is his powers, the true power, the true nature of his ability to see all things, or to see into the future. Where it's not just seeing into the future, because you can change future. He talks about the future as if there were grains of sand, and he can see the grains of sand, each one. Basically, the man can see every possible future outcome from that point in time per individual. Now, I can't say it's for every person simultaneously, but Juha, at least per individual, he can see all the grains of sand for that person at that point in time and what every future possible outcome could be. So basically, he can see all the tracks of destiny for a person. And that is insane. That is ridiculous. And Juha is setting up traps. Now, my question is, when he do that? I know that he can see into the future. I understand that he could do that. But I'm asking, when did he do that? At what point in time? Were they there to begin with before the fight even started? Or did he set that up after the explosion and the area was blown apart? Or was it afterwards? I don't know. But I want to find out when he set those traps up. He could be simultaneously putting the traps there as Ichigo lands there. I want to find out when, like, at which point in time were those traps there. So that's my only thing about the traps. But the traps are there. And that's a new technique, kind of. The traps themselves aren't necessarily like super unique. It's like, I would suppose, patches of his darkness that are laid across the area, and when he steps onto these patches of darkness, like a landmine, it explodes, and then he gets skewered. Something like that. So, either way, that is the story progression for chapter 677. And finally, we get the characterization. And characterization number 1 for chapter 676, Orihime Inoue. Inoue just looking, Ichigo, Ichigo, oh my god, it's effective. That's Orihime. Oh my god. She just looking at him, gawking, staring. She is, has the feels going on. OD. Okay, alright, fine. I mean, I know folks theorize that Orihime is gonna die. I mean, the way it looks now, future waifu of Ichigo, Orihime, not Rukia. Rukia, second place. You know why? Titty action, that's why. Obviously, Rukia's flat as fuck. I mean, she has peaches, but so is Orihime, probably. And not only that, but she has fantastic honeydew melons. So, it's a win-win with her. That being said, Orihime, she may die. I doubt it, though. I really do. And if she does die, there's going to be some way to bring her back. That's my guess. Chad can die. Fuck Chad. What's Chad doing? No one gives a fuck. Kill him. Kill him. Decapitate this nigga. This nigga's pointless. Just, he's taking up space. He's wasting oxygen. Dude, fuck it. Ugh. I know. I shit on Chad too much. I get it. But he is shitty, okay? But now let's get back onto the characterization. So, once again, characterization, Orihime expressing extreme emotion for Ichigo via just the eyes alone. And here's the thing, alright? You know what? No, wait, hold on. I gotta deviate again. So, Bleach does have one big problem. One. Among the big problems that Bleach has, one of the problems that Bleach has is the lack of character interaction. And this ties back to the whole notion of Ichigo's friends, alright? Because given the way Ichigo acts towards his friends and how there is so little character interaction throughout the entirety of, I would say, a majority of the Bleach series between Ichigo and his friends. It's kind of like, like, you can see that there's something there. All in all, you couldn't really say it's like earnest love. Like, you can say it's like a crush of some kind. Her crush has now multiplied because she's seen this positive transformation in Ichigo. But you can't say it's something that is of, like, true substance. Like, okay, if you compare, let's say, Orihime and Ichigo to, like, let's say, Kenshin and Kaoru. Kenshin and Kaoru, there was earnest to honest character interaction, a lot of it between those two. And so when you saw the emotions, you can see similar emotions from Orihime to Ichigo as you would Kaoru to Kenshin. But Kaoru, you knew that was like earnest, honest love. Whereas when it comes to Orihime, it's more so like a crush. Like, basically, Kubo is vaguely exploring some of these regions, but he can only go so far because the character interaction is limited between the main characters. It's been that way for a very long time in Bleach. It's one of the core problems of Bleach, I would believe so. Where, yeah, he has friends, but I mean, given the limited interaction, are they really friends? Like, again, Kaoru and Kenshin. And mind you, this series is way longer than Rurouni Kenshin. And still, I would say, when it comes to interaction, when it comes to the depth of the relationship between those two, Kaoru and Kenshin, it is far more substantive than Ichigo and Orihime. So that being said, moving on from Orihime to Ichigo. Ichigo, new move. Whoa, new moves, plural. Whoa! Historic moment. In my mind, better late than never. I know I always complain and bitch about how he has one move, and yes, I do want to see him actually use those new moves in earnest, like an actual Sero Beam Laser. However, a new move nonetheless, and I'm very happy to see Kubo take the necessary steps to give Ichigo new skills. I always thought that one move can only take you so far. Ichigo was beyond a one-trick pony. He was a one-trick stampede. He just kept on doing the same shit over. I'm like, dude, this guy, holy shit, man. No. Sero. Grand Rey Sero. What's the Japanese thing for congratulations? Omedetou, something like that. Yeah, omedetou! Ichigo-kun! Fucking goddamn on some weeaboo shit. Listen, man, nigga has new moves. Shit. Moving on. That's positive. That's a huge positive. And on top of that, Ichigo explains the balance between his powers. He admits that he cannot fully utilize his hollow powers. You know what? I'll read it to you because I have it saved right here. It's the same page where I read to you about the whole Quincy powers and the hollow powers. So, right here. While they maintain equilibrium by opposing each other, they were forged together as Zangetsu into these two swords. If that equilibrium made him, meaning the hollow, made him behave himself, then tipping the balance would bring him out. And in the past, when I was struck by huge amounts of Soul Reaper or hollow powers, he took over. The truth is, he melded together with my power, so I should be able to call him out at will, but I'm still not good at it. So I used your power to help me. And you eyes that smile on like, yeah, good shit, young buck. You are learning, young Skywalker. So, once again, when it comes to characterization of chapter 676, that's really it. Once again, you have Orihime have that little bit, and then Ichigo, historic new moves plural, as well as talking in detail about how his powers work and the equilibrium and why he needed Yuha's powers in order to unleash the hollow inside him. Very important stuff. So characterization, Ichigo gets the lion's share, and it's very, very important for his character. Now, when it comes to chapter 677, let's start here as well. Number 1, Ichigo again. Ichigo, when you see him fight Yuha, calm, collected, analyzing, trying to find a weakness in Yuha's armor, quote-unquote armor, trying to see where he can find a way to attack him, despite the fact that Yuha can see all of the possible outcomes of the future. I like that. And it ends up with Ichigo calling out Bankai. In my mind, it's going to be a new Bankai, and I'll explain why in a future discussion video. Give me like 2 or 3 days. No, give me 1 or 2 days. Despite the fact that he's even falling into traps, he's still calm, and he's analyzing, and he's moving forward. I like that. Ichigo, I think, and I could be proven wrong in the future, but I think at this point in time, it is safe to say that he has made some actual substantive mental growth, and I do like seeing that. Ichigo. Good. Good. Keep it that way, please. Please. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2, Mr. Leo. Whoa. Broken. What I do want to do is that I want to read you what he says on Manga Stream about hope. Ichigo, I like to talk on the subject of hope. The future can be changed. That is wide-held truth. That is a wide-held truth. A marvelous truth full of hope. You will grow and mature during battle. Another splendid sentiment that is also filled with hope. But the truth is, to change the future means nothing more than to jump from one grain of sand to another. And as I watch over them all from up on high, I can see every single last grain of sand clearly. Do not abandon your hope, Ichigo. Proceed as you always have. And just as you always have, atop these tumbling grains of sand we call fate and possibility, keep jumping from one grain to the next blindly. That is the truth behind what you humans call hope. This I find very fascinating. And the reason why is because Juha, he's a godly-esque figure in Bleach. So something like hope is things that I can't say that we aspire to, but here's the thing. Hope, I would think a lot of folks consider to be like above them, or it's beyond them. It's something that is like a driving force for a lot of people. Hope, dreams, that kind of stuff. So it's something that we would see akin with us in a positive way. But because you all can see all the tracks of destiny, because he can see every possible future outcome, hope is something that is beneath him. And you get that sense when he says, as I can see the grains of sand from on high. He is looking down at what hope is. He is seeing how hope is a human construct. It is a human's way of trying to change what may or may not be the future. But ultimately speaking, because he is looking up from on high, nothing really changes. It's the whole notion of you can't escape no matter what you do, therefore fall into despair. Now again, he's the villain, so that's going to change at some point. There will be a ray of light somewhere in this dark, deep tunnel. But it's the fact that Juha, he perceives something like hope in a different manner because he has reached this level. And I just find it very fascinating. So that's characterization for him on that aspect. And then also it is what his true powers are, which again, his true powers for the Almighty, if you would, are him being able to see every possible future outcome at that given point in time for a person, which is extraordinarily broken. Now, it could be even greater than that. It could be for a whole plethora of peoples at a given point in time, which makes it even scarier. And that probably is the case, actually, because I don't see why he'd be limited. If this was just base Juha, okay, fine. But this is Juha plus Mimi Hagi-sama. So Juha has massive power. And it looks like the chance of beating him is even dimmer. So I do have my thoughts on how they can beat him, but I will save that for another Bleach discussion video. So that being said, folks, I am done. When it comes to chapter 677, that is going to get a rating of a good plus to great, which is a 7.75 out of 10. And when it comes to chapter 676, because this is the main character, and because this is a historic moment for Ichigo, I'm gonna be a little bit biased. I'm gonna swing more towards that chapter being a better chapter, and I'm gonna give that chapter a rating of a great 8 out of 10. So I'm done. King Lightning, rate the video, comment, subscribe. Peace. Have a nice goddamn day.